2020 was the year of showing TikTokers true colors, but it looks like 2021 is the year of showing YouTubers true colors. Because James Charles is now getting exposed for good. And he most certainly can't no-tap his way out of this one. For anyone who's confused as to why James Charles randomly started trending this week, please don't act surprised when I tell you that yet another underage boy just came out exposing James Charles for inappropriately messaging him at only 15. Many believe he tries to get away with these serious allegations every single time. Whether he tries to put the blame on the minors, saying they were the ones who lied about their age so it wouldn't be his fault, or whether he semi-apologizes and makes a basic no-tap apology just to go on with his day. Hello? If there's anywhere you should be apologizing, James, it should be in court. Anyways, here is the most recent allegation made against James Charles, where a boy who claims he was 15 years old claims he was being contacted by James Charles on Snapchat. This video got over 1 million views in under 24 hours, you guys. And obviously, with that being said, you guys can imagine how much people were sick and tired of seeing a new boy come out about James Charles every 3 months now. And this time, it wasn't just people on the internet calling out James for his horrible behavior, but even celebrities and famous YouTubers started taking action as well. Yeah, guys, people like Kylie Jenner, Miley Cyrus, and even YouTubers who collaborated with James in the past started instantly unfollowing James on social media as soon as this video started spreading word. Hours later, the boy who goes by Jake on TikTok had later come forward to explain why his video about James ended up getting deleted, since many people wanted it to be spread to as many people as possible, including James's young and impressionable audience, to show what kind of a human being James actually is. Well, y'all are gonna be shocked when I tell you that this boy claims the reason his video ended up getting deleted was because he ended up getting contacted by the police. Which, if you guys remember, had also happened with the other boy that recently came out about James last month. Had to delete the video. Parents made me take it down because they apparently got contacted by the police. Everything in the video is 100% real. While many people think that James is trying to silence these underage boys, some are actually happy that the police are getting involved. That way James could finally face the repercussions for his disgusting behavior, including people like Trisha Paytas and Ethan Klein, who've been pleading for James to finally get locked up. James Charles deserves prison. I really hope one of these parents press charges. It's so nauseating. I'm physically nauseous, and he's so cocky about getting away with it all. I'll say without a shadow of doubt, James Charles is the only creator that deserves to be banned and stripped from all social media platforms. He's abusing it by with minors. Repeated behavior happening as recent as a few days ago. This is an actual predator/pedophile. The way James talked to him after too, threatening him, being aggressive, putting blame on a 15-year-old child for their interaction. Disgusting. James Charles caught with yet another 15-year-old boy. I swear to God, y'all, this is getting f***ing ridiculous. Call anyone out they associate with this man. I am losing my mind. The fact that this is happening again and again and again, like fresh, new, now. This man is a current dangerous James Charles is a straight-up pedophile. That's not slander, but a fact. Repeated behavior still happening. After James started trending on Twitter, another girl came forward to explain how back when James was living in her hometown, the 518, which is the area code for Bethlehem, New York, which was where James was born and raised, that James would catfish boys all the time in order to get photos of them.
Is it just me, or does like everybody from the 518 just know that James Charles catfished his whole high school soccer team for all their news, and like nobody ever says anything? Like, I've never seen it really go like publicly or anything, but I've talked to so many people in the 518 about like James Charles, and they're like, oh my god, you know the catfish situation? Like, we all know it, but all the people from his hometown just don't say anything. Like, what?
After this, even more footage of James started to go around, including one in a podcast where people caught him in 4K after he mentioned how he wanted to fly out high school boys, but quickly stuttered after he realized that could have gotten him into big trouble, and he replaced it with senior high school boys. Yeah, take a look for yourselves.
Talk to guys that live in different states and stuff, and I'm like, hey, like, why don't you come visit? Like, well, I can't afford a plane ticket.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, well, I can. So like, get on the plane. And like, well, I just don't really feel comfortable with that. But like, I love you and I really want to be together. And I'm like, well, we can't be together because you can't afford a plane ticket. You're probably still in either high school or college, like a senior in high school or in college.
Right.
So like, either you accept the flight and realize that like, this is what I'm bringing to the relationship so we can spend time together if you actually care about me.
Yep.
Or we literally never meet because you can't afford it.
Anyways, there's been a lot of opinions about James all over Twitter, you guys, and let's just say I think it's safe to say that this time James's career and reputation is not looking good anymore. Minor or not, why is James Charles romantically interacting with fans? Even if they're above 18, it's such a damaging power dynamic. Why can't he find someone naturally and not someone over Snapchat whose age is questionable? He must stop messaging fans like this altogether. It weaponizes a very prominent power dynamic. Him messaging minors is even worse. This could all be stopped if he just didn't interact with people like this. He doesn't care. A minor is saying that James Charles is a for the third time this month. It's almost like there's a pattern. Interesting that neither James Charles nor those around him are addressing anything. Real fast when it comes to dropping people for much less, but actual serious accusations involving minors, silence. Reminder when James Charles was publicly flirting with 16-year-old Faye Sway. So is James Charles going to face the same repercussions as David Dobrik, or are we just gonna pretend he isn't a predator too? I better not see one person, and I mean that, defending James Charles. This is what, the fourth time a minor has come forward about him? Stop supporting him. This is disgusting. Anyways, I definitely want to know what you guys think about all of this. How do you think James is going to respond to this? And what's going to happen about all of this?